Hello, and welcome back to the Compassionate Curiosity podcast, where we explore the messy, beautiful, challenging project of being human. And here we invite compassionate curiosity into every conversation, not to judge or fix, but to explore with openness and intention. Together, we dive into body image, food and movement patterns and behaviors, and the stories we tell ourselves about worth, acceptance, and identity. We share tips, tools, and reflections from lived experience to support and inspire your journey forward, guided by curiosity and grounded in compassion. I'm your host, Rachel from Tranquilopa Wellness, and I'm a family nurse practitioner, women's wellness coach, yoga teacher, and mindfulness and meditation teacher. And I specialize in supporting women and teens to reduce body insecurity and dissatisfaction, navigate body image struggles, and to go from self-criticism to feeling comfortable, confident, and empowered in their skin. So today we are going to be talking about body acceptance, which I find to be quite aligned with my physical condition right now. I am coming off of like 5 days now of just being plummeted by what I think is the flu. So on that note, I do apologize for my congestion. I hope it is not too bothersome as far as listening to my voice goes. But please do excuse any abnormal sounds or water breaks that I may need. So yes, to fully embrace body acceptance seemed very fitting for this week anyways. And so I also feel like this is a topic that can be difficult or almost radical, especially in a world that conditions us to strive for a better body. And is a topic that I find that many people are confused by because of mixed messages. Some say, love your body, but that can feel impossible on hard days. And others say, accept your body, but does that mean giving up on caring for it? So my intention with this episode is to clarify, what body acceptance actually means, dispel some myths and misconceptions about it, and offer some strategies that are simple and accessible to start to embrace it. So as always, I would love to start with a moment of stillness to help ground ourselves. Whatever you're coming from, maybe it is, maybe it was a stressful day at work. Maybe it was a challenging conversation that you had with someone. Maybe your kid just threw up. Maybe there is just crazy madness coming on. And we need a moment to reconnect with ourselves, to get still, to step forward from a place of peace and love. And so if you are able to, I invite you to gently close your eyes. Find a comfortable position. This could be seated, lying down, even standing. And let's just start by taking a deep breath in through our nose. Maybe your mouth if you're congested. And a long breath out through your nose or mouth. And let's do that a few more times, being intentional with the in-breath and the out-breath at your own pace, following the flow. Maybe noticing the mind chatter. Maybe your mind is quite active right now. That's okay. That is very human of us. Bring some kindness to that. And just let it be and come back to your breath. And let's take one more breath together, inhaling deeply. And a long exhale out. And gently opening our eyes when you're ready. Thank you so much. So to start with, let's look at a definition of body acceptance. So, body acceptance is the practice of making peace with and appreciating your body as it is today, regardless of not being completely satisfied with all aspects of it and without attaching your worth to how it looks. So, it is not about loving your body every moment, although that is a type of body acceptance, which we'll get into a little bit later. It's not about avoiding health or self-care, and it's not about pretending you never struggle with body image. So it's more so a mindset shift, moving from self-criticism to self-respect. It's treating your body with kindness, even if you don't like it all the time. It is okay. It is okay to not like parts of your body, but it doesn't mean that we treat it with disrespect, right? And so body acceptance is treating your body with kindness regardless. And it's making choices from a place of care and not punishment. So let's look at 3 myths and misconceptions about body acceptance. So, number 1, if I accept my body, I'll let myself go. So I find that I hear this actually quite frequently. Like, many people think that acceptance means complacency or not caring. And the reality is that acceptance actually leads to a more sustainable form of self-care because it reduces the stress and shame that drives extremes like overexercising or restriction, for example. Number 2, body acceptance means I have to love my body all the time. This is the thing, this is the reality, is I truly believe that no one loves their body every day. Acceptance is about reducing the war you have with yourself and your body. It's okay to have days when you feel off, right? But the goal is to move through those feelings with curiosity instead of criticism. So instead of, I hate how I look today, let's try, I notice I'm struggling with body image right now. I wonder what it is that I need. And number 3, I can't practice body acceptance if I want to change my body. I think sometimes body acceptance gets looked at as, you can't have health or, well-being goals, or you can't change your habits. That's not what that means. The reality is that you can work toward feeling stronger, eating differently, improving your well-being while still treating yourself with respect. So the difference lies in why you're making those changes, right? The motive behind the change is what differs, right? It's no longer from fear and shame, which would be like, I hate my body, so I need to force it to change. Instead, it would be from a body acceptance approach or standpoint. And this would be, I care about my body, so I want to support it. Okay. And then your behaviors as a result of that change as well. A key note here I want to make is distinguishing between body acceptance and body positivity. So I think that these are sometimes used interchangeably, but there are key differences. And I think understanding the difference can help you find what resonates most with you. So body positivity originated from activism focused on challenging beauty standards and promoting visibility for marginalized bodies. So it encourages loving your body and celebrating it at all times. It can feel pressure filled because it implies that you should always feel great about your body. Body acceptance, though, includes other forms. So to me, body positivity is a form of body acceptance, right? Love is a form of acceptance. But there are other ways to accept your body other than loving it all the time. And this is where neutrality, respect, and gratitude come into play, as opposed to like forced positivity. So it recognizes that you won't always love your body and that that's okay. It emphasizes more so compassion and coexistence, accepting your body as it is today without tying your worth to how it looks. Okay. So, like, for example, if we were to look at a statement, a body positivity statement would be, I love my legs, cellulite and all, they're beautiful. Whereas with body acceptance, it would be more so, can be more so toward a focus of gratitude. So, like, I'm grateful for my legs because they help me get from point A to point B. Okay. And the reason why this matters, why I wanted to take a minute to explain this, is because if body positivity feels exhausting, um, body acceptance using neutrality and respect and gratitude may be a more realistic and sustainable approach for you. So, reminding you that you don't have to love your body to care for it with kindness. Acceptance allows you to exist in your body without constant judgment. Okay. Um, so the reason why this may be a next step for you when we're looking at healing and mending and changing your relationship with your body and yourself if it's not where you'd like to be, is because there's so many benefits to practicing body acceptance from a neutrality standpoint. It reduces stress and anxiety, in the sense that, constant body dissatisfaction takes up so much mental space, and letting go of that struggle frees up energy. Um, you're more likely to have more freedom in movement and eating when you practice body acceptance. So when you're not punishing yourself, you're more likely to move and eat in ways that feel good to you. You're likely to experience improved confidence and self-worth because you're defining your value beyond your appearance. Okay. Your relationships may become stronger. Less self-consciousness allows for deeper, more present interactions with people in your life. And so let's look at how we can start to practice body acceptance from a neutral standpoint. So we're going to look at 5 accessible strategies today, to see what may work for you. So number 1 is engaging in neutral self-talk. So our inner dialogue is the most important dialogue that we engage in, because it affects how we feel, what emotions we experience, which then drives our behaviors and actions. And that is how we show up in this world. And that is how the cycle goes. And it starts with a thought. It starts with self-talk. What are we telling ourselves, right? So for example, if saying I love my body feels way out in left field and inaccessible to you right now, let's shift to a more neutral standpoint of, instead of, I hate my stomach, try this is my stomach. It helps me digest food, which allows me to literally live my life and be alive. So over time, shifting from criticism to neutrality to appreciation helps to create a healthier relationship with your body. Okay. Strategy number 2 is a body gratitude practice. So this is, and I've talked about gratitude in a few of my other episodes, but this is something to incorporate if you are doing morning journaling or night journaling. Once a day is naming one thing that your body allows you to do and expressing gratitude for that, right? So, for example, my legs let me take a walk, which is something that I absolutely love doing. Or my arms allow me to hug my loved one. So this helps to rewire the brain to focus on function over appearance. Okay. Strategy number 3 is to curate your environment. Okay. Social media is a major body image trigger, for a lot of people. So I invite you to take a moment to do a social media audit, scroll through your feeds, and make note of accounts that make you feel like shit. unfollow those and follow ones that promote a more realistic body diversity. Okay. And I would say also wear clothes that fit your current body comfortably. So like instead of keeping quote unquote goal clothes that make you feel unworthy, I feel like this is a game changer for a lot of people once they're able to embrace it, you know? When you are able to wear clothes that are comfortable and not restrictive or something that you're trying to fit into just because of the size label, you will feel more comfortable in your body and therefore more confident and more freeing to move about your day, move about in your body. Number 4 is intuitive movement and eating. So I'm going to have a separate episode on both of these, actually, where we'll take a much deeper dive. But these are both beautiful ways to help to start engaging in body acceptance. So with intuitive movement, this is a shift from punishing workouts to movement that feels good in your body. And this can be incredibly challenging to find out, what exactly that is for you. This can take some time. For me, it took what felt like forever to find what intuitive movement was for me. I spent years over exercising, and it took me, and I'm still working on reworking this, time to unlearn, what diet culture had fed me about how I needed to move my body. And so for me now, intuitive movement looks more like gentle yoga or going outside for a slow walk. And that has been so beautiful for me and my mental health. And so this can feel overwhelming to try and determine from the get-go. I'm speaking from my own experience. And so there's one little activity that I invite you to start with if you're finding that this is the case for you. Try a feel-good movement check-in. Okay, so instead of asking yourself, what workout should I do today? Ask yourself, how do I want to feel in my body today? So for example, if you do that check-in and you notice, I feel tired, maybe a slow walk or stretching would be best. If you feel restless when you do that check-in, maybe a dance break or a faster paced yoga flow would feel good. Or if movement feels overwhelming to you in the moment, even taking a few deep breaths while rolling your shoulders up and down is movement, right? And can definitely change our state. So shifting the focus from obligation to curiosity is what we're going for here, because your body will tell you what it needs if you listen. Okay. And then with intuitive eating, this is learning to eat in a way that's nourishing without rules. So it's noticing how different foods make you feel instead of labeling them as good or bad. And so a way to check in with this briefly is to pause for 10 seconds before eating. So before you take your first bite, take a deep breath and ask yourself, how hungry am I right now? Maybe you rate yourself on a scale from 0 to 10. What do I really want to eat? Checking in, going into the body, noticing what are my hunger cues, and checking in with what does sound good to me right now. This tiny pause interrupts the autopilot eating and brings awareness to your body's needs. So you might realize that, you need something more nourishing or more satisfying, or even that you're not as hungry as you thought. So that can give some clarity to us. And intuitive eating isn't about rules, right? It's about reconnecting with your body's cues one bite at a time. And like I said, we're going to dive into that much deeper in another episode. So stay tuned for that if that is something that you are wanting to embrace. And our 5th strategy is to find support. So body acceptance can feel quite lonely in a world that's obsessed with body image. So surround yourself with people and messages that reinforce kindness. And this could be, online communities, it could be books, it could be podcasts, it could be supportive friendships where this exists. And so I invite you to try out one of these strategies, see what works for you, what comes up. And now I would love to touch base on some common fears and barriers around body acceptance from a neutral standpoint. So, one common fear that I see and hear is, what if my body image gets worse before it gets better? And I want to invite you to acknowledge the discomfort and remind yourself that growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels freeing, and that once we're building self-awareness around the things that we're saying to ourselves and the emotions that come up, it can seem like we're hyper-focused on it because, well, we're bringing our attention to it, right? But again, this isn't to become critical of being critical, right? It's more so from a curious, compassionate standpoint. And so, yeah, we're likely to be hyper focused on what we're experiencing. And that is the first step. And so, you know, and changing your relationship with your body means unlearning years of conditioning. So it's normal to feel resistance and discomfort. That is all very normal when we're stepping into unknown territory or unfamiliar territory. Our bodies want to bring us back to that. And so, bringing some kindness and patience into the process for you is going to be so critical. Another common fear that comes up is, what if people judge me based on, how I'm now treating my body, or say, the things that I'm saying to myself. External validation can be a tough thing to let go of, but body acceptance is about your peace, not someone else's opinion. And so that's going to look different from person to person. So, and also if people comment on your body as it may be changing as a result of this change in you, that it's important to keep in mind that that is more so about their conditioning than your worth. And so keeping that at the forefront is also important. And then another one is, what if I still have bad body image days? As I had mentioned earlier, everyone does, right? Body acceptance doesn't mean never having a hard day. It's knowing how to support yourself through it when you do have those moments, when you do have those days. And on those days, it's an invitation to return to that neutral self-talk, engage in the body gratitude, and give yourself some compassion instead of spiraling into shame. Okay. So some final thoughts as we wrap up here. Body acceptance isn't about perfection. It's about accepting the isness of your body and yourself as it is here and now. Give yourself permission to take small steps rather than feeling like you need to, fix or change everything overnight, right? First of all, we're not fixing anything. This is an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing process because we are constantly working with external forces and external messages that are constantly fed. So it's something that we're constantly working on. So bringing some grace and kindness and compassion to that. Lastly, I want to give you a few body acceptance affirmations that I'd invite you to explore to see if any of them resonate with you, that feel accessible and that you can utilize when you do notice that you are having a hard body image day, or you are noticing that disempowering self-talk. This is something you can replace it with, or it can be something that you add to your morning routine, something that you tell yourself in the mirror after you brush your teeth, or something that you journal in your gratitude journal as well. So the first one is, my body is not an obstacle to my life. It is my home. I am worthy of respect and care, no matter how my body looks today. I do not have to love my body to accept and appreciate all that it does for me. My body is not a problem to be fixed. It is a part of me to be honored. And I release unrealistic standards and embrace the body that carries me through life. And I just want to end with a reflective question that I would encourage you to write out. What is one thing I can do today to show my body kindness? And until next time, may you know that you are not alone. I am here with you. May you be guided by curiosity and grounded in compassion. Sending you love, light, and gratitude today and always.